right, episode 51. Here we are, the Burg Boys, Mike Lennon, Matt Lennon, Christopher Roschold, myself, Jeremy Greenwood, hosting this evening. Got quite a bit to talk about. Just had a pretty big event actually a few hours ago that we're going to spend some time talking to about involving Coach Guard and the men's basketball team. But before we get to that, let's do our normal intros post Super Bowl. Let's start with Matt. What's up with you, man?
Not a whole lot. How's it going, fellas? Just last weekend, I guess, since we haven't been on in a couple weeks, Super Bowl weekend.
Yeah.
We made the trip to McFarland. We visited Sarah's sister, Larissa, and her fiance, Aaron. We try to get together with her family, like the whole family, aunts, uncle, her parents, probably like once or twice a year. So we headed down there. Just did a little local establishment tour. And it was pretty cool. They actually found out they got a house while we were there. They put in an offer, I think Thursday night or Friday.
Nice.
And they found out when we were there. And then this
Where's
weekend, actually, they be Southwest. Drawing a massive blank right now.
Egypt.
Yeah, I'll keep thinking about it.
Okay.
But then this weekend, kind of an interesting weekend. Friday nights, I don't know, Jay Green, you might have got this warning too, Mike. I don't know where you were at. That squall warning. And it was like, it comes out as like an Amber Alert. So that kind of freaked me out. But we ended up going out to eat. And then we came back. And one of our fascia pieces, once again, came off.
What?
And it was just hanging there. And I was like, oh, my God. Like, I got to get up there before it completely comes off. So I was like, well, obviously, tonight, I'm not going to do it tonight.
I was going to say,
the wind was just going nuts.
You're going to die, man.
I know. So Saturday morning, I woke up. And I don't know about in Reedsburg, but it was like pure ice. And so I was like, oh, man. So get the ladder out. I crawl up there and just handyman, man. I just had a hammer and some nails, and I'm just up there, poor man, getting it back on there. Got it back on there, so I don't know. We'll see what happens, I guess. But
Big Mike could be proud.
Maintenance, Matt.
Man, I don't mind heights really at all, but for some reason, like roofs just freak me out.
I'm the same way.
Like if I could stand like on a flat surface, I got no problem. But the fact that you're like this, don't like it. But then we ended up going to a sports bar for a meat raffle. It was actually pretty fun. It was like bingo. And you could win like meat, and then they did $2 you got in, and like every bingo you won $160 if you won. Did not win. And then today we actually painted our living room. Also, whoever likes painting is nuts. Did that. It was really nice here. So we went on a long walk, and then we ended the night with a little steaks on the grill and some baked potatoes. And now we're here.
So, what color did you paint? What color?
White.
Oh, okay. Real basic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
With the modern look.
How many people were at this meat raffle?
Packed. We didn't even get a table.
Is that mouse bar, that rat bar that we went to? That one?
No, this one's in Holman. It's called Features. It's a little sports bar.
Was that the same one that had the interesting lady that confronted you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Same place.
I forgot about that. Is that something you can share on here?
I'd rather not. But.
Okay. All right. We'll go to you, Chris. We'll go to you. Yeah.
Yeah. So, 2 weeks ago, I can't even remember. Super Bowl. I watched it, ate some food. I honestly don't remember much. The last couple of weeks. Well, no, not due to alcohol or anything like that.
Okay,
It's more it was more stress induced mental lapse. I was preparing for this big presentations that I had to do this last Friday. So the last like 3 weeks I've been really stressing about getting all that stuff done. I had to do 3 50-minute presentations. First one was in front of about 50 coaches. Second one was about 40. And then the last one was only about 30. So either I suck or all the coaches started getting drunk by then, because it was about 9:30 when I was doing my third one. But it was good. It was good. It was a really good experience. I thought I did well. I had about 10 coaches email me over the weekend asking for my presentation. So
Nice.
either we're going to get smoked this year because they're going to know all our secrets, or I did a somewhat decent job. But it was just stressful putting together. I put together a Google slide presentation. I've gotten away from the PowerPoint stuff now that I've been introduced to Google.
Is that the same thing?
Yeah, it's the same thing, but it's just way more user friendly, and it saves automatically just into your Google Cloud or whatever it's called. You don't have to save it to your computer. And Google Slides is nice because you can download it like as a PDF, as a ping, as a power. You can download it however you want, where PowerPoint's a lot limited. Anyways, so I created this presentation in Google Slides, but it needed to go into Huddle. Once I got it into Huddle, which is like our film database, then I had to go through the last 2 seasons of film and find the plays that correlated with what I was talking about, put them into my presentation, make sure they're in the right order, go through it all. And so it was very time consuming, but it was good. I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. My head coach also talked twice about culture. It was good. It was a good clinic. Got to do a lot of networking, got to meet a lot of people. And hopefully something I said impacted one of them, and then they go off to their program and, hopefully impact their kids. And that's the ultimate goal. So, but it was good. It was a good time. Got to meet a couple famous people. So that was cool. Descendant of the Petrino family. I don't know if you know the Petrinos. They're one of the kids is, I say he's a kid. He's like 40. He's a big wig with Field Turf, the company. So I got to meet him, talk to him, because my head coach played for his grandpa at Carroll College in Montana. So I got to meet him, and there's a couple NFL guys. There's BYU, CSU, UNLV. There's a lot of big wig coaches that were there. So it was good, but that's basically all I've done, honestly, the last 2 weeks is just prepare for that. And now it's kind of recovery mode. I'm a little exhausted. But we don't have school tomorrow for President's Day, so
Drinking a Truly.
Hopefully I can get some good sleep tonight and be ready to rock and roll with the kiddos on Tuesday.
Nice, man. Yeah, hopefully you'll get a call from Boulder, University of Colorado, offering you a job now or something.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but
all right, Mike, what's up, man? What's
Not too
going
much.
on?
Not too much, Jeremy. 2 weekends ago, watched football, ate way too much food. I know Matt had a good present or a good allotment of food as well.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, we should probably talk about that.
I gotta try to remember what I had.
What didn't you have?
We had pickle, what are they called? Pickle chips or something? Or pickle
Fried
bites?
pickles?
Fried pickles, yeah. We had
Fried
fried pickles, sorry. Those were good. Buffalo chicken dip, Sarah's recipe.
Yeah, I used hers
wings. I think that's maybe we had one other appetizer too, but I don't know, the Super Bowl. I don't know if we wanted to talk about that as well. It was an okay game, I thought. I guess I was looking for maybe a little bit more juice to that game, but
yeah, we'll talk about it for sure.
Wasn't too much. Then we actually had our playoff series this weekend. We are officially eliminated now, so it's off-season mode. Recruiting season for me will be turning up here. Canada's finally open, so I'll be making a trip up there, probably to Saskatchewan, Manitoba, in the next couple days here. So Big Mike and Janelle are coming to Ashland to watch the kids next week, and that's actually Annette's parents are down in Arizona right now. She's going to visit them. So Big Mike Janelle or Matt and I's mom already sent us a list of like activities and stuff, so I know they're pretty jacked up to watch the kids.
Now,
Very
here's the
nice.
question. Here's the question, though: is the Chevy Colorado going to be the thing getting them up here?
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's
All
gotta
right.
be.
And
There you go.
Big Mike's gonna do stuff for you
can-
around the house, so you better get stuff ready for him.
I was just gonna
Yeah.
say, is the list
So,
bigger
I-
for Big
so,
Mike to get
hold on.
stuff done,
Hold on.
or is the list bigger?
So I think so Annette's mom, Christine, so Paul's dad, whenever he would come and visit, they always gave him a list because he just needed to keep busy. So Annette kind of have moved that on to Big Mike, and the list is like there's a decent list here for Big Mike to keep busy. So I think he likes doing it. But yeah, that's all. And then today was really we had a fun day. We have like a nice. We live like right in between like Northland College. Like our backyard is like woods area, so we went walking in the woods, the ravine. And then we took Henry to there's actually a really nice outdoor skating rink in Ashland that we took, and Hattie did a little bit of skating too, so that was kind of cool.
I was going to ask you, are you planning to get her into hockey or just kind of see how it goes?
I think we're gonna see what she wants to do. I think, but yeah, probably.
Yeah. All right, man.
What about you, Jeremy?
Well, yeah. Hockey ended for me as well. Unfortunately, we'll talk about that. I know I didn't say much that night. You know, it's just gets to be a lot emotionally and all that stuff. But other than that, I guess. Gosh, it is tough to here. I had three guys that while you guys were talking, I could have thought about my stuff, and here I am, like, God, 2 weeks now.
Just real quick on that, Jeremy. It was really fun to just follow along this season. I think, and I didn't know if we were going to talk about this later, but it was just really cool. Like I turned the game on. I was listening on the radio. I think it was what's the radio station? And we should know this.
WRDB.
I turned it on there, and it was really cool just to follow along. And I was obviously really happy to watch the boys play for a period or two a couple weeks ago, and there's a lot to be proud of. It obviously didn't finish the way that you guys would have hoped for, but it was credit to those seniors. They seemed like a really special group, and kind of anchored by Cooper Oakes there as well. It was a 4-year starter for the program, and it was just really fun to. What'd you guys go? Was it like 14-1 at the when you guys won the Monks tournament, or it was something crazy?
Took
like
off
that,
after that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we can talk about that real quick since we're on it. It was just kind of a really close knit group. Really special. Really great group of parents too that really just love watching their kids play. And I don't really have anything bad to say at all. Cooper, he broke a ton of records. I mean, his jersey will eventually be retired too. He holds the majority of the records, as any goalie would, having been a 4-year starter, have an opportunity to break a lot of records, but, other than that, we had a player come back from playing, AAA, and one who came and tore his ACL last summer and came back and played this year, which is just phenomenal and amazing. And, I could talk about them all. But the point is, it's just a really fun group to be around. I don't think anybody obviously didn't want the season to end there, but, as the old saying goes, there's only one team that wins the last game of the year or two, depending on the divisions, that sort of phrase, but, so you look at it from that perspective, it's okay. And beating a certain team on the way to get there feels good as well, but anyway.
I think too, and just real quick on that, and us four have all played on numerous teams, and you go back to the point you made of how close they were, and you think back to maybe some of our successful teams that we had, and typically that's the factor is just how close the guys are. So I think that that obviously tells a lot about just the foundation
Yeah.
that obviously Neil and now yourself have built with the program. You guys have been very successful over the past couple of years, so it's definitely kudos to you guys too.
Yeah, I appreciate that, and next year we're hopeful for next year. Got a good group coming back, and I've had a couple coaches ask me, well, how are you gonna replace Cooper? How are you gonna how you've been lucky these past 4 years, things like that. And it's like you're not gonna replace the guy, but like at the same time, somebody's
Somebody's got to step up.
He's gonna come in and he's gonna work his tail off. That's the only expectation. So, and the next guy will. I have no doubt of that, and we can still win games without Cooper Oaks. We'll still try to win. We'll still give it our all. So, anyway, appreciate that, Mike, and all of you guys. Your guys' support throughout the season. But let's move on to kind of what happened earlier here. We kind of in a situation happened at the Kohl Center, right? Where the Badgers handedly beat the Michigan Wolverines, and the Michigan coach, Juwan Howard, is a former NBA player, I don't know if wasn't quite a national champion, but he was a part of the Fab Five with Michigan.
Chris Webber timeout.
With Chris Webber, famous Chris Webber timeout. And I'll kind of run you guys through it real quick, and then I'll get your guys' thoughts on it. So,
hold on. Do we want to get technical? Like, do you want me to get technical and try this out? We can show the fans.
Yeah, let's see it. Let's see if it. I mean, we might as well try it.
Let's start. Let's give it a shot here.
Yeah, well, I got nothing to lose.
All right, share screen. All right, we're gonna give it a shot here.
So for those listening on the podcast, we just kind of played a screen. We're playing a screen here. Greg Gard's gonna coach or shaking the other coach's hands, other players' hands. Juwan Howard comes in kind of last. Greg kind of grabs him and says, it looked like maybe Juwan said something to him or wasn't going to say anything to him.
Yeah. I think what he said.
Yeah. And then Juwan grabs or kind of slaps Joel Krabenhoft, our assistant coach, in the head. And this kind of just hold on, I want to see this last part. I'm looking for that guy on the side.
So if you it's at about the 1 minute mark.
Oh, is it? Okay. Well, there's a guy that Mike sent earlier that just sends a suck it signal.
I'll pause it.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about it.
I mean, all in all, this is his second outburst in years.
That's what I was just going to say. Yeah.
And so.
All right. So it's this. If you guys can see it, watch this guy. Goes back to the WWF days.
Yeah, he goes and gives the Degeneration X suck it sign.
Yeah. Boom.
Yeah, so that's going to be a GIF or a meme or whatever you want to call it going around the internet. But here's the thing, though, guys. We kind of think about it is we were up by like 14 or whatever it was. Juwan Howard's team, Michigan, was still pressing, full court pressing our backups. Coach Gard did not like that. He called a timeout, wanted his guys to be prepared, be ready to get the ball past half court because it was already 5 seconds in or something like that. Coach Howard did not like that and was clearly pissed off, mad on the sideline, and led to this at the end. So what's your guys' thoughts on all this? And have you seen something like this happen directly with one of your teams? Not one of your teams that you played with, but one of the teams that maybe you even liked up to this point.
I think for me personally, I mean, the fact that it's his second time doing it. I mean, I think it was last year where the bench is cleared. He went to Maryland's bench and just went nutso. And then I think his name's Mark Turgeon
Turgeon. Yeah.
Turgeon. He just got right up in his grill. And it's like, if he's going to complain about that timeout, like you said, Jeremy, why is he pressing? And then if you followed his presser after the game, he was like, "Oh no, we were just playing 5-on-5 tight defense or something." It's like,
you're down 14.
Yeah, and so I mean, if he's gonna play like that to finish a game, then what's the problem with calling a timeout? And I guess what he said to Greg through the handshake was, "I'll remember this explicit."
Okay.
I'll remember this. And then
Well,
guard. That's when
if you have
guard
a
was
job,
like,
if you have a job,
yeah.
you'll remember
And
it.
I mean, clearly, I think the Big Ten came out with a statement, and Michigan's AD came out with a statement. Obviously not pleased. And he'll for sure get a suspension at minimum.
Well, and the thing too is like Greg was like he kind of grabbed his arm probably to say like, hey, like
He's probably trying to explain himself, like, hey.
And then he kind of grabbed him like that.
Yeah.
If you saw,
Yeah.
then he stepped away, and then
I mean, what? Juwan Howard's 6'7", Greg Gard's what, like 5'10"? Like
Both guys could have handled it a little bit differently. But
yes, yeah, agreed.
So, Rosh, we had a conversation not too long ago while we were gaming a little bit, and you said, tell me the comment that you saw from a former teammate of maybe not the comment, but your reaction to it.
What was this? I can't remember.
You're the backup kicker.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, just my little take on it quick, and then I'll get to that. Obviously, Michigan has had a horrible season in terms of Michigan standards.
Yeah.
And I think that's obviously weighing on him. And I'm trying to look at it from an unbiased Wisconsin lens.
Which we can't.
Well,
right?
and it stops for me right there, though, when Howard was going to walk right by guard and not say a word.
Yeah.
That's how it started. He walked right by. He didn't even shake his hand.
He was at the end of the line, too.
Yeah. And regardless of a win or a loss or how crappy or how horrible or if a team's dirty, whatever, it's just a respectful act to shake the person's hand afterwards. And then if you have something you need to say, you just say it behind closed doors. You have a conversation with that coach and say, hey, like, what's the deal? So I think he must have said something in passing. Greg, to me, seems like a professional. So I think now, again, he probably didn't need to grab him, but I think he was just grabbing him to say, hey, like, are you going to just walk right by and not say, not shake my hand? And then it obviously escalated from there. But an ex-kicker in college, ex-teammate of mine, one of the backup kickers, big Michigan diehard fan, Snapchat story said, Howard, you're an absolute animal. I love it. And I got to thinking, I was like, absolute animal. He open-handed slapped another man. Okay, so that's enough right there.
Yeah.
He did it with 4 people in between him.
Yeah.
Okay, so add that to it. Then after he did it, he runs away. Okay. Mm-hmm. How is that an animal? Like what?
It's not at all.
Like if he thinks that's.
But there's so many people defending him.
Yeah. He must not.
There is.
I mean, but like that's the way NBA fights are always. I don't think I've ever seen a closed-fisted punch get landed in an NBA game.
In the 90s.
The malice at the palace.
Yeah.
Oh,
but like now it's all pushing and shoving and throwing basketballs at each other or slapping, and I don't know. Like it could have been handled way differently. I feel bad for any young athletes or any young kids that were at that game, because that might put a different perspective on things, on what athletics should be about. I have a good ex-teammate from Whitewater who had his kids at the game, and he said that, they turned it into a life lesson, but his kid shouldn't. I don't want to say like there's blood and gore and stuff, but when you go to a sporting event, that's not something you want your kids to see, because that's not sportsmanship. You know what I'm saying? And so like that's frustrating, because there's 17,000 people there that all witnessed it. But I mean, it could have been handled way differently. And like I said, it should have been behind closed doors. And Howard being his second offense, he should be done. I mean, you make one mistake because you let your emotions control you. Cool. Second time, see ya. I mean, you're on national TV every single week. You can't be making mistakes like that. And you're supposed to be a professional and a role model to your players. That's not getting them hyped. That's not getting them pumped up. That's telling them how to lose the wrong way is what you're teaching your young men. And so, see ya, in my opinion.
And the two icing on the top of the cake was obviously the guy doing the WWE suck it. But, and then the student section chanting NIT as they walked off the court is just like classic.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's great. Yeah.
I did see something though. One of the beat writers for the Badgers, or maybe it's for the Wisconsin State Journal, they did say that McIntosh, the AD, he said that he is very, very upset by this, and he's already in contact with the Big Ten and NCAA because they're hoping for swift action. So
Yeah.
whatever that means.
Well, maybe
Yeah.
we'll hear something tomorrow. I mean, they're obviously not going to come out with it tonight or anything.
Yeah.
But, all right. So real quick, Matt, you want to give us a Badger sports update?
I'll just run through it. The basketball team, number 15, they won Tuesday night 74-69 versus Indiana. Close game at the end, and then Johnny Davis took over at the game. I think at one point he scored like 15 straight to end the game. And then Saturday morning, the bracket actually released the top 16 seeds. And so Wisconsin was actually ranked the first number 4 seed in this first ranking. Obviously, there's a lot to change.
Not bad for a team that wasn't going to even have a winning record.
Picked 10th, to finish in the Big Ten.
Yep.
And then obviously today, the fight obviously took away from the great game that Wisconsin played, but they won 77-63. Johnny Davis once again, he dropped 25. Not even close in the second half. I think we outscored them. I forgot what it was, but it was close to 20 points. And then obviously we talked about the fight. Upcoming, they actually play Wednesday night at Minnesota at 8 p.m. And then Saturday, big one at Rutgers. Trying to get a little payback to them. They beat us at the Kohl Center last weekend.
They're hot right now. They're very hot right now. Yeah.
And right now the Badgers are half a game out of first place with 4 to play. So it's going to be a wild 2 weeks here.
Who's in first? Is that Purdue or Illinois?
Purdue. We're tied with Illinois right now.
Okay.
For second. Men's hockey at off this weekend. Upcoming, they play their last regular season weekend at Minnesota Friday and Saturday. Women's hockey ranked number 3. Tough weekend for those girls down in Madison. They lost 5-1 Friday to number 2 Ohio State, and then they lost Saturday 2-1 versus number 2 Ohio State.
That was at Ohio State, though, I think.
Yeah, at Ohio State. Yep.
Okay.
So upcoming, it's the first weekend of the WCHA. They play Bemidji State, best of 3, starting Friday night. So the ladies, I mean, they're not as dominant as the last couple of years, but obviously, they still got obviously a very good chance.
Let them go underneath the table a little bit. That's okay, or whatever you want to call it. Let's see here. Let's give a little Reedsburg Sports update. RWD lost to Sauk. I don't even know the score.
5-3.
5-3. We had a flurry there at the end to kind of tie it.
That's what it sounded like.
I mean, we just a 5-minute spurt in the second there where we had a 5-on-3, gave up one, and then, you
guys gave up one on a 5-on-3.
I think we ended up being 5-on-4 at the end of the 5-on-3, but yeah. So I don't know. That's frustrating, but girls basketball won the Badger Conference, beat Edgewood. Let's see.
Do they start playoffs this week? Do you know, Jay Green?
I think so. I think that's coming up here.
It's got to be.
I don't have specific dates, or I think that was their last regular season game, though. Boys basketball beat Baraboo Tuesday.
Nice.
And lost to Portage Friday. So they will do seeding. I think their seeding's in the progress. I think it was today or whatever, and that'll come out. Wrestling. We got a couple of young men going to state. You got the names, Matt?
Yeah. We got Devin Judd at 170 pounds. He's headed to state. And we got Jesus Gonzalez. 285. I'm assuming that's heavyweight, but I'm not positive.
I'm pretty sure that Jesus' dad owns Cancun and Reedsburg. Just an FYI.
Real quick, it's kind of cool if you.
Yeah.
So the girls got this is February 13th.
Oh, you're looking it up? Okay.
Yeah, so they get obviously first round bye, but they'll play the winner of Portage. I don't have a date on that. They'll play the winner of Portage and Mount Horeb. They got the 1 seed. And if they win that game, they'll play. Yeah, they'll play. No, sorry, they won't even do that. They'll play either they'll play the winner of that, and then they'll play the winner of Sauk Prairie in McFarland if they beat Portage or Mount Horeb.
Okay. Yeah, so
I think they got to win probably 4 to get to state. 3.
Oh, you're gonna make me look again.
Either way, we'll be following it closer.
Yeah, for sure.
They need to win 1, 2, 3 games.
3 games to go to state. All right.
Very nice. So yeah, congrats to those two young men though, and good luck at state. I
And
don't know when
also,
that is.
Reedsburg Gymnastics. I believe they play second in a tournament.
Oh, so they go to sectionals now, right?
I think so. I
Okay.
just briefly saw it today. But yeah, they play second in a tournament. Not positive which one. So
Yeah.
I think they're having a pretty good year as well.
Yeah, I mean it's been a pretty good winter season for everybody.
Yeah,
For the
for
most
sure.
part, you know, I had a new basketball coach who I gotten pretty close to at the school.
When are we getting him on, Jeremy?
Yeah, got some more wins here than expected. I'm just gonna try to let him get through his season first, maybe, and then we'll talk to him. But he played basketball at Wisconsin Lutheran, and he was actually on Family Feud once.
Really?
Yeah, he was on Family Feud.
Okay.
Little fun fact.
Well,
for
Steve Harvey
audience.
action.
Well, we're gonna have to talk to him about that.
Yep. I think there's a clip out there too. He kind of answered a question rather silly, but let's talk Super Bowl real quick here. And I thought the Super Bowl was very bland.
I thought it was rigged.
Mike thinks it was very rigged. He's been very vocal to us about that. I think depending on who you ask, there's very mixed results or mixed feelings on the halftime show. I think a lot of it has to do with the era that you were born in.
Who was saying anything bad? I didn't see anything bad.
Literally everybody above the age of 40 probably did not care for it too much. But Coach Welch didn't anyway. But so other than that, I mean, I don't know. I think so much of this Joe Burrow stuff was brought up. So I don't know, with emphasis that I don't think he was going to win. Did you guys see Matt Stafford look away from that reporter?
Yeah, he's in some heat for that.
What a tough look.
No, but they
covered the. Well, he has to.
Yeah, they covered the expenses. But his wife, I mean, he was probably 2 sheets to the moon there.
For sure. So anyway, you guys' take on the Super Bowl, the halftime show, the outcome of the game, how exciting it was, the commercials. We haven't talked about the commercials. Mike, what do you think?
I'll give the commercials a C, the game a C. The halftime show was unbelievable. That's an A+ in my opinion.
Okay.
No, it just seemed like they let the game go. Pretty much, there weren't many penalties called until the last 4 minutes there. Some questionable calls, in my opinion. Obviously, Bengals got away with that. Was it like the 70-yard bomb to open up the first half? Should have probably been face masking, or I don't know what offensive pass interference, but I don't know. I thought I thought Kupp probably should have got MVP. I'm okay with that. Donald had a big game for the Rams as well. Some rumors that he might obviously be retiring, actually, which would be kind of crazy. But if you look at just some of the stuff that he's done, he's a sure thing Hall of Famer, 100%.
Right.
In his 8 or 9 years that he's played. So I am happy for Matt Stafford. He's got the same amount of Super Bowls as Aaron Rodgers now.
Yeah, that's great, right?
But yeah, I thought it was okay. I think it was rigged though.
Okay.
I feel like, I mean, the game was pretty bland until the last part there. But I feel like if they just would have if it wouldn't have ended like that, maybe. It was like.
Well, and you brought up the thing too, Matt. That Perrine guy.
Yeah, I don't know what that guy was doing. He could have easily. I feel like at least dive for it.
Why are you not diving for that ball?
But it just seemed like it was like, okay, 2nd and 1, and it was just, I think, an incomplete pass. 3rd and 1, stuffed. 4th and 1, incomplete. I was like, wait, what? What just happened? It seemed like it happened in like 2 seconds. But I agree with Mike. I mean, there was a couple good commercials that I laughed at. I don't know if you guys remember the one with the
Doritos one was.
Yeah, good. Was that Seth Rogen? There was one with Seth Rogen with the ghost when he marries a ghost or something. Did you guys see that one?
Yeah.
Oh, that one was
I
pretty
think that was
funny.
Doritos. I think that was the Doritos.
That might have been
one.
Doritos. Yeah, halftime show, I loved it. It was just kind of, man, that was just meme central with 50 Cent hanging from whatever he was hanging from. But yeah,
I mean,
out of breath, man.
I can't talk either, but he's put on a couple lbs.
Yeah, yes. But yeah, I thought the game was okay. Obviously, I was rooting for the Bengals, but happy for Stafford.
Yeah. Nice enough guy. Good quarterback.
Yeah. Now he's in a little bit of heat.
Yeah, I'm right there with you guys. I thought in terms of the game itself, it was not thrilling really until the end. I thought the end was exciting though, and I was glad it was close. A blowout Super Bowl game isn't very exciting at all, so I like that. This one at least kept you intrigued because the score was so close for the majority of the game. I thought both teams. I thought the officiating was really good until that last drive.
Yeah.
I don't think it would have mattered. I mean, the Cup one with the linebacker number 55. I mean, that wasn't pass interference at all. And that was on a third down, which is a big play in the game. Now the next one, Cup was literally hugged to the ground.
That would have made it
like fourth. It was fourth down. It would have been
fourth and 7 maybe.
Yeah, and they were down 4.
Yeah.
So they would have had to gone for it. So I mean, and I've seen every angle, and I get it. Refs are going to make mistakes, and so like I see why Mike says it's rigged is because of the reasons like that. Especially since they didn't call anything all game, and then that's the first big play, and it's with a minute 30 left in the game. So now that the ones that followed that all made sense. Those were all obvious, but other than that, I thought it was a good game. Halftime show was awesome. I thought the commercials sucked. There's maybe one or two that were good. I didn't get to see a lot of the commercials because that was usually when I was working on my presentation, so I wasn't fully paying attention. But
so we talked about that though, Rush. Like at one point, depending on who was in the Super Bowl, it used to be like, well, you need to get some stuff done during the Super Bowl and watch the commercials.
Exactly.
That's how good the commercials used to be.
100%.
Exactly. I agree. I totally agree with that statement. And last year I thought they weren't very good, and now this year, same thing. And for what the people are paying for those commercials,
like $7 million.
They should be significantly better.
What was the one commercial where it had the QR code?
That was Coinbase.
Man, I could not grab that.
There was Coinbase or something, and then
it crashed.
It crashed right after that, which is hilarious because they spend all that money for that, and then they don't even get to reap the benefits. So that's pretty comical. Didn't really plan for that.
Imagine if you're the head of that company, just like, what the hell?
Yeah, but I mean, overall, I thought it was okay. I mean, it was nice seeing Stafford win. I wanted Bengals too, but watching Stafford after the Super Bowl win, I don't know if I wanted him to win anymore. I mean, his wife was wearing a dang shirt that said his name is Matthew because people kept calling him Matt. It's like, give me a break. Get off your high horse, honey. Like, I'm sorry. Like, But anyways, between that and the reporter falling and like, I get it. He just won the Super Bowl. He's intoxicated. He's having a good time. But I don't know if you guys heard his interview. Did you guys hear that?
No,
when he had the microphone, he was talking to all the people in LA. He was slurring words. It was horrible. It was horrible. I'll send it to you guys. It was bad. But to answer your question, Mike, about Aaron Donald, well, it wasn't a really question. He did say in an interview that he was going to run it back. So it sounds like he's coming back. McVay kind of put him on the spot. Now, he could have been just saying that, because he was put on the spot, but he did say that he wanted to run it back. And he even called it a super team, which is really funny.
Yeah, whatever, man.
Okay, real quick.
Wait till I cut your legs out.
We can maybe talk about this too, because we texted about it a little bit, but this is now back-to-back tiers where it's quote-unquote 2 super teams that have won it. I mean, do you guys think this is maybe going to be the new trend?
I think yes and no. I think you can't totally make a super team unless
NBA ran with it.
Unless a lot of things go your way because of the salary cap.
Yeah, salary cap.
The salary cap, like the Rams, they might make a super team, but eventually it's going to bite them in the butt, and they're going to be in cap hell.
I don't think they got a first-round pick until what, like 2024?
Yeah, and they got lucky. You got to think too. They got lucky with OBJ.
Yeah.
You
big
know
time.
that
big time.
because he's not on a full contract.
Yeah.
He's not on a $20 million a year contract like he should be on, and so
Yeah.
things have to fall your way to make a super team in the NFL. So I think teams are going to try. Obviously, you want good dudes on your team, but I think it was one of those things where it just kind of fell in place for the Rams.
Yeah.
Like the OBJ, in my opinion, and I'm not a big fan of the OBJ. Now, if he was a Packer, I'd probably be a fan of him, but
You would be.
he's a guy that I think truly is the reason they won a Super Bowl. I'm not saying he won. I'm not saying he won the Super Bowl game, but I think it was because of him that they were in the position to be in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Well, just can you imagine if I'm drawing a blank on his name, tore his ACL right when they traded for him.
Woods.
Can you imagine if Robert Woods was still there too,
Yeah.
and then you throw OBJ in there?
Yeah, but who knows? Maybe they don't go. Maybe they don't sign OBJ if Woods is there. But
no, they signed him before.
Maybe the chemistry's not the same.
Then he got hurt in practice like 2 days later after they signed him.
But like if you saw the whole second half of that game, Cooper Kupp did nothing.
Oh no. Yeah.
Because they could put all their attention on him.
Yeah.
That's what would have happened the second half of the regular season if they didn't have OBJ. So I don't know. It was good. Excited for the future, but nervous. It'll be interesting to see what the Packers do here with their cap situation. But
speaking of that,
in Goot we trust, right? In Goot we trust.
Devondre Campbell is in Green Bay right now, and he needs to get, I think, a contract done by midnight.
4 hours. I think it's 11 o'clock.
If they don't, then it's like obviously you can become a free agent, and I think we lose some dead money or something along those lines.
It'd be 11
That'd
o'clock
be great,
Central because everything's based off of Eastern time.
Yep.
That'd be great, man. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, it would be.
A shout out to Jason Repka for winning our contest. I speak for everybody in this podcast when we say we are honestly hoping somebody else would win. And not because we didn't want you to win, Jason, but because we wanted somebody who hasn't won something like your family has to experience some stuff, the Burg Boys hat and some knucklehead passes. But congratulations. I mean, you were almost spot on, right?
Yeah.
Guys? I mean, he's really,
and
really
also
close.
be on the lookout for the second annual March Madness Burg Boys bracket. I think we did that on ESPN, didn't we?
Yeah, I think so. So we'll be doing that March, April here.
Yep.
But no, I appreciate everybody kind of doing something fun there and involved with that activity. So we kind of got conversation got going. What was it, yesterday, Mike, or 2 days ago? What made this conversation come up about this last topic?
Oh, Rosh sent MacArthur, or was that you?
Oh, yeah. One of the towels that we use for our strength and conditioning class, because we do different things with towels. It was a Gatorade towel, and I was just like, "Hey, I'm just going to check the tag of this, anyways." And sure enough,
I do that too.
It's Windcraft, and then right at the bottom, MacArthur towels.
Yeah,
and so I sent it, knowing that you guys worked there, and thought you guys would get a kick out of it.
So the topic is talking about kind of our high school gigs, or first jobs, a couple of our first jobs, and Rosh, Mike, and I, we started at MacArthur Towels, which was our hockey coach's Neil Matson's towel company. He was the VP there, and it was very interesting. We didn't really, I don't know about you guys, but I was scared as all heck to interact with Neil when he was working, just because he'd come on to the floor where we did a number of things.
Sometimes.
And Neil was all, business.
Green plywood.
Ain't gonna break.
That ain't gonna break.
Yeah. So, it's this big warehouse with tons of lines of boxes, and we would line up boxes. We'd make beds back there. Lookouts, guys, for putting boxes on skids. Zach Downing and I, Moose, we would be up front putting stickers on header cards, just with 3 or 4 old ladies, really nice ladies, But we were standing, do that for hours and hours on end.
What we
Mike,
get? It was
Mike, go ahead and talk. You talk a
Well,
little bit about it.
What was the stick game that we used to play?
Marker game. It was a marker game.
Marker game.
Explain it.
We
Explain
even
the marker game.
We even wrote it. Brad Bruin even wrote it on the side of one of those pieces of plywood what the score was. But I think from my memory, we had this big Sharpie marker, and if it was ever thrown at you, you had to catch it. And if you didn't catch it, you got a point. And so, like, I remember walking with boxes in my hands, and like somebody would toss it to you, and you either had to catch it, drop the boxes and catch it, or just take your point. And so, like, that's what we did with each other, like, to keep like our minds.
And then Neil saw the standings.
I just can't believe Neil. Like, seriously, like, I'm grateful that he hired me to work there. But at that 1 year we had. Probably it was over 10 high school hockey players working there.
Yeah.
Somewhere or close to it. Matt Vernon, Brad Bruin, Luke Bjorklund, me, Chris, Jeremy, Moose Downing. Was there anybody else?
Can't
even think right now.
Matt Pingle was there for 2 weeks before he got fired.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was. I don't know. It was a lot of fun working there.
It was, and the reason I kind of brought it up is because I've been rewatching The Office now for like the 5th time.
Yeah,
and I just
bottom area.
I just think of like that bottom, the warehouse down below, and the little games Michael plays, and like how the coworkers all interact, and how each coworker has like a niche to them. Like Creed is just the quiet, weird, awkward dude. You got Dwight and Jim's dynamic, and all that's. And then I thought of MacArthur, and I was like, man, that same thing was happening at MacArthur. Like each person had their little niche. You had, the guys in the back warehouse, the people in the middle of the warehouse, and then the old ladies up front, and then the suits, which were in the front office, and like everyone, like Linda was a lady that you wanted to be on her nice side because she was nice. But if you weren't, like, watch out, and.
What about you, Matt, though?
Todd, the sod god, was way in the back.
What about you, Matt? Matt was your high school employment.
Oh, man, I was RCC, man, for 8 years, 9 years.
8 years, 9 years. And what was it like? Did you enjoy it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we had a blast. We had a good group of guys there. A lot of high schoolers.
Why did you enjoy it?
I mean, Todd was the man. He was a great boss. And then it was pretty much just like, I don't know, like similar stuff that you guys said. I mean, just a lot of things that I probably won't say on here that happened. But then
just like the camaraderie of like trying to make your job fun.
Yeah. And then like, I mean, if OSHA was around, it probably would have been bad. A couple of things that we did, but yeah, it was just nice being outside. And like I said, Todd was a great boss. I remember one time.
Is he still there?
He's still there. Yep. I think I had a tryout or something. Like I found out super late, or I don't remember exactly what happened, but I literally texted him the night before. And I was like, hey, Todd, I'm not going to, is it okay if I don't come tomorrow? Yep. That's totally fine. And then like another good thing he did was like during 2-a-days, obviously we had like 6 a.m. practice. And then if he didn't need me, usually I'd go back to work after the first practice. Then obviously have the 2-a-days that night. But if there was not much to do around the course, he would just shoot me a text and be like, hey, you don't need to come in today, which is super cool. But yeah, similar stuff to what you guys said. I mean, the people that worked there, it was just.
Who was the older gentleman that used to work, or is it Larry Horkin?
Larry Horkin. I think he's still. I'm almost positive he's still there.
That's awesome.
And he just mows the rough, and that's all he does.
Yeah, that was awesome. Like after MacArthur, I got a job at the city of Reedsburg in the summers, and that was same thing. Like that was a combination of the two. I mean, the guys that work there are freaking hilarious, and the things you do just made work fun. And then obviously just working on the Reedsburg baseball fields all day, you can't really beat that. But there's something to be said about your coworker and your interactions and the environment, whether it's whether the things you're doing are right or wrong, that doesn't matter, because everyone that's involved is enjoying their job because of it,
exactly.
and that's that's what's fun about it.
Yeah, 100%.
I went from MacArthur to Maintenance Mike at Big Cedar Lodge, and then I had a cup of tea for 2 summers at Pirates Cove. I was
Maintenance Mike.
Yeah, Ranger Rick there. I sat on a rock and just made sure everybody. Wasn't there one pretty eventful night at Pirates Cove?
Yeah, I'll tell the story. So it's like 8 o'clock at night. It's it might have been a little later because it was middle of summer.
So Pirates Cove. Sorry, Mike. Pirates Cove is a mini golf course for anybody who doesn't know that.
Yeah, it is. What was it? 72. It's huge.
It's 90 something. No, I think 91 maybe.
Yeah, it's humongous, this place. And so we have these walkie-talkies. They're like, hey, Mike, gonna need you to whatever hole 5 on. Grab a broom and I don't even know what he said. Grab a broom and like a bucket and grab some water. I'm like, okay, this is weird. Go over there, and somebody took a poop in the cup. So they putted. I mean, they must have had to go, I guess, or something.
No, they were punking you for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but it wasn't dog. That it was clearly human poop. They took a poop in the cup, and this was like hole 5. So there's no toilet paper around anywhere.
They did the dog scoot on the grass, probably.
Yep, they might have, but that was by far the worst thing that I have ever had to do at a job, was to clean up human poop from a cup on a miniature golf course.
Wow.
The best thing is you might want to grab some gloves. So I'm like, what is this? What are we even doing here?
You might want to grab some gloves.
Yeah. And it was interesting because he's like, he didn't want to say it over the microphone because everybody's got these walkie-talkies, that are
right.
checking people in for hey, head up to hole 5 on whatever course.
Yeah. No surprise.
All right. Yeah. So, I mean, obviously we could talk about those stories for, like when a trailer would come in, you guys know, boxes from China, and there's just a little bit of a hole in that trailer where the water got in and the cardboard got wet, and then it dried.
I can literally still smell what that that semi trailer smells like.
You remember what your shirt would look like when you would leave that place?
Covered. Awful.
It would just be black.
I feel like I remember a lot of times you guys having to wake Mike up.
Dude, yeah.
That's not a lot of times. I mean,
I feel like you guys would just walk in.
There's a reason we met at your house.
Yeah,
Matt, because if we were waiting on Mike,
closest to Baraboo.
Oh, that's what you think. But the reality is, if we were to wait on Mike to get to someone else's house, we would have never been on time.
We're waiting because he was sleeping, not because he was making his lunch. Janelle made his lunch for him.
Yeah. And when he worked for Pirates Cove, he wouldn't get home until 2 a.m. I would get done with work at the city, and I would come over at 3 o'clock, and he would still be sleeping in the basement.
Oh yeah.
No, that is not true.
He would wake up. I would wake up and play NHL.
No.
Play NHL downstairs.
I would wake up at 12. I would go work out because I was still a collegiate athlete at Downtown Fitness, and then I would work from 3 or 4 to 12, 1 in the morning at Pirates Cove, come back, usually grab some Taco Bell on the way home, and
play vids until 5 a.m.
Till 2:30. Get my 8 hours in, and then do it all over again.
I like the first way better.
Yeah. There's so many times I walk downstairs after putting in a day, and he's just snoozing on the bed downstairs, wakes up, just grabs his controller, grabs his other thing that you guys know about that he enjoys and just grabs the sticks and starts gaming Chell. I'm ranked 38th nationally right now. I'm gonna get that up. What were you ranked at one point though?
Top 100.
Yeah, which is unbelievable. But if you didn't play for like one day, you would drop big time in that.
Yeah.
Just rip Mike this show, apparently.
Yeah. Well, that was a good way to end the show here. Actually, I think we'll have a guest. We'll have a guest next time in 2 weeks here. We're going to try to get to. I think we're going to try to get to the every other show guest on and go that route. But appreciate your guys' support as always. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll talk soon. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Take care.
See ya.